welcome to Forever Sports. And listen, what a game. What a game. And it is that. But welcome to the Player Rating Show, people. It is time to go and do our final Player Rating Show. And there is the link in the description. I want you guys to go and rate the players, give them a rating between 1 and 10. Go and let me know what you thought of the match. Go and let me know what you think of every single player. Choose your man of the match, and we're going to put a poll up very, very shortly. I want you to give me you guys, preferences for who you think should get man of the match and what your thoughts were of the match itself, because it was a very interesting match. And we always knew it was probably going to be quite a big scoreline, to be honest, and it didn't disappoint in that regard. And a bit frustrating, I think, that we even had to kind of have this game. But it kind of is what it is. We're going to break down the game a little bit, go through exactly kind of what happened, go through all the various tries, of which there were plenty, and then we're going to get into the player ratings. So I want you guys right now to go and do your player ratings, go onto the mypicks.app, go and register, go and get yourself signed up, and then go and vote for your man of the match, the likes of that. But before we do that, let's kind of get into exactly what happened, shall we? Springboks 73, Wales 0. Not making that up, a record defeat for Wales, the biggest ever defeat for them in Cardiff. I mean, 73-point defeat is massive. And ironically, this is probably not necessarily the red flag of Wales rugby in terms of where they are, because it's been coming. We know that they've been outclassed for a while, and they haven't had the depth to compete, and they've not been good enough for a while. But this really lays bare just the lack of depth Wales have inside Wales, because obviously also without all the external players that weren't available. And I think that we talked about in the week, how much was this game going to really offer the Boks? And I suppose they got out there and a good confidence booster, and players getting their first tries and the likes of that, and getting some stats and getting some game time. But I don't think there's a massive amount of value in beating a very, very poor Welsh side. And look at the points scored. It was just childish. It just kept getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, it started in the 9th minute. We only scored 4 tries in the first half, by the way, at halftime, 28 points to 0. When Gerard Steenekamp, Ethan Hooker, Jasper Wiese, and then Sashfai Mngomezulu. But then we had a blitz in the second half, where Vilkolo went over, Sasha went over, and Kane Moody went over within the first 10 minutes. And that really broke the back of Wales. And after that, it just became far too easy. And you look at some of the stats, for example, 59% possession. I mean, Wales actually had some ball, to be fair. They had some chances and maybe should have taken their opportunities a little bit better. But you're playing against a Springbok side which prides themselves on the defense. They would have been as focused on getting a 60-point scoreline, a 70-point scoreline, as keeping the nil. That would have been as important to them. Jerry Flannery would have been desperate for a shutout, because that's very rare in rugby that you keep a team scoreless. And I think that would have been an important part. But you look at the stats, and it just shows you how relentless the Boks were, and how Wales were always up against it and were never going to be able to compete. 106 carries. Wales had to make more than double the amount of carries. 11 tries. 11 tries is not a good look for any game, really. It's far too one-sided. Almost 4 times as many meters run. Really, 3.5 odd. 12 clean breaks to 1. It was too easy for the Boks at a stage. Wales, for the first half, I think, were plucky. It's probably the best way of describing it. They were plucky. And they kind of tried to make it difficult. And maybe the Boks weren't as clinical in the first half as they were in the second half. But I think that, we're now talking about a Boks side that kind of gelled in the second half, that got going. And I mean, you look at our top performers, and it's just, Ronald here, Damien Delaney, top carrier. Andre Estes, he's my man in the match. He was absolutely phenomenal. But you look at all the stats, and besides the tackles, which is always going to be dominated by Wales, and shout out to some of them, who put in some big shifts. Alex Mann, 23 tackles. But when you've got 4 players all making more than 50 odd meters, it's been a dominant performance. You got Sashfai Mngomezulu with the double. So it was one guy with 2 tries, and then 9 guys with 1 try. More than almost half the team scored a try today. Sashfai Mngomezulu, 28 points, obviously was pretty all right off the tee. Missed a couple that he missed one that should have maybe gotten. You look at some of the other stats. Andre Estes 2 offloads, Morne van den Berg and Kobus Strike your top passes, as you'd expect. The fact that Sacha van Gomezulu passed more than Kieran Hardy says a lot. Kieran Hardy played about 60 odd minutes, maybe 50 odd minutes of the game, and passed the ball 13 times. He played just over more than Morne van den Berg. He passed it 50 times, and that shows you the dominance that we had. So we look at the attack, for example, more carries, more meters run, more offloads, 550 more passes. But look at it defensively. Wales missing 25 tackles, and ironically, their tackle percentage is only slightly worse than us. But we just didn't have to defend at all until like maybe towards the end, a couple of phases, but we did it very, very well and very straightforward. But, turnovers won. Can I just point out that Andre Estes had 3 turnovers by himself. 18 turnovers in total, where Wales lost the ball in front and the likes of that. But it's the set plays at the end of the day. Our scrums, we actually can see the scrum penalty, but it's just one-way traffic. You get a scrum, and it's already written, really, that we're going to get a scrum penalty, that we're going to have a free roll of the dice. Lineouts were superb, 100%. Wales didn't even bother contesting because they needed to try and stop them all. And so they were never going to really contest for the lineouts over there. So that became a very easy set piece for us, in all honesty. And the pressure, 16 penalties, 2 yellow cards. I will say, and it hasn't quite updated because it was right towards the end, the red card for the Boks. Sickening, to be honest. It sounds harsh, but genuinely sickening from Eben Etzebeth. Absolutely no need for it. Right, it was 77th minute of the game. You've hammered them. And to go and concede a red card for eye gouging in that manner for a player who is the most capped player of all time in this country is really disappointing. We've had 3 red cards now in the Autumn Nation series. One was chalked off. One I think you could put to a bit of a 50-50. But today, that Eben red card is awful. You look at that and you think we've had our high horse about how bad James Ryan was. There is no defense for what Eben Etzebeth did with that eye gouging incident. It's horrendous. It's a bad look. He's going to be banned for a long time, as he should. And what a terrible way to end the game and to end the season for the Boks. Such a good season for the Boks, been marred by a moment of madness, really, from your most experienced player. Is a little bit heartbreaking, to be honest, because we've had so much to celebrate. We've had so much to kind of launch ourselves into a great game. And then you look at that and you think, it's not good enough. It's not what we're about as Boks fans, as Springboks, That's not what we're about. And regardless of whatever happened, that kind of action, you cannot see that in rugby. You can't. And we've got to hold our players accountable. We've got to hold our role models accountable. And he's a superstar. He's our most capped player ever. We've got to hold him accountable. We've got to say, that is not good enough. And he'll come out and say it's not good enough, and he apologizes. But we've got to really, really, really emphasize the fact that it's not. And we can't take a back seat. And I don't think, in terms of saying it was intentional or not, you cannot be grabbing people like this at the end of the day. And as soon as you put yourself in that position, stuff like that happens. It's stupid. At 140 tests, whether it was intentional or not, I think he's going to have a hard time trying to prove it wasn't. It's such a bad look, though. And just why? There's no need for the entire incident. There was absolutely no need for the incident whatsoever. It's a bad look. He's going to get bad, and so he should, because it's a horrible moment. And it kind of just ruined the kind of feels, really, for the end of the game. But, you look at this match events, and it was just basically points, yellow card, replacement, points, replacement, points, but South African points. Literally, the only Welsh events were replacements and cards. That's how bad it was. So it was a great match, and Andre Estes has gotten the man of the match over there, as he should have, but it just feels a little bit flat on the back of the Eben Etzebeth incident. But apart from that, what did you think of the match? Let me know down in the comments below. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve, and I'll chat to you. Well, I'm not going anywhere, actually, to be fair. Because I'm so used to sort of finishing off these sort of things. But that's kind of what happened. And I just feel that we kind of just a bit of a damn squid moment with what happened with Eben. And it's just annoying, because we could have really got into the evening, got into the off season with such a high of a phenomenal season. And that's, by the way, that's our best ever season. in this century. It's our highest win percentage we've ever had in the 21st century. We've not had a win percentage higher than that since 1998 across the year. 86 point something percent is our official win percentage of the year. So it's been such a good year. And we need to sort of focus a bit more on that than kind of what happened to a certain degree. It's just sad that that's how the game fizzled out. But we need to go to our player ratings. So let's get into the player ratings, shall we? And just going to change that up. I hope you guys have done your player ratings. So I've given you guys more than enough time. I've given you almost 10 odd minutes to go and to go get your player ratings. There can be no excuses. And if you haven't done it, then what have you been doing? Basically, that's what I'm saying. If you haven't done it, what are you doing? Because you've had time to do your player ratings. Go to the website, go and get them locked in, and make sure that you contribute. Because at the end of the day, it gives us an average fan rating, which means if you haven't done your player ratings, we don't get that average fan rating. So we're going to do a bit of a refresh. We're going to start with Pieter-Steph. Now, the problem is I think it's going to be quite a quick player ratings because genuinely, where are you going to give anybody less than kind of an 8 or a 7? And, absolutely flawless, really. So he's going to get, I think majority of people are going to get 8s here. I don't see how 7.4, for example. I mean, you're talking about a guy who didn't miss a tackle, a guy who scored a try, a guy who won every single scrum, conceded one scrum penalty. So, he's getting an 8. One of the more quieter players maybe is Johan Krobler. So maybe I'll give him a 7, maybe a bit of a quieter game, 7.3. But I mean, for example, him versus Pieter-Steph, I always bump up if they've scored a try. I don't know why. I think it's fair. I think that's a big 5-point contribution. So I've always kind of bumped them up if you scored a try. So as Jacques says, just give everyone an 8.5 and call it a day. I mean, we genuinely could. What I do need to do, by the way, is do a bit of a poll for who was your man of the match. Man of the match. My options are Andre Esterhuizen. Give me options here, people. Give me options for man of the match whilst I continue. So Jan Krobler, he's got a Wilco low. Again, also played very, very well. Made his tackle, scored a try. I mean, tight to scoring a try. You got to go an 8. But I need more options for man of the match. I've got Andre Esterhuizen down. Give me some more options. Give me some more options. I can have 4 options up here. So I give me some more than just Andre Esterhuizen. Who else is going to give me some options over here, people? Give me some choices. That says Kane and Moody. I don't mind that shot. He was. I've got a Ruan. I've got lots of Sashas. I don't think Sasha was close to actually some of the other guys. Scored 2 tries, 28 points, yes, but also made one of the other mistakes. But I suppose that's kind of how it works, isn't he? He's kind of that kind of player where he's just completely all or nothing. So I've got Andre Esterhuizen, I've got Kane and Moody, I've got Ruan O'Keefe, I've got Sasha Van Zulu. If there's any more votes, I mean, there's only one for Kane. If there's anybody else, I personally think it's quite a straightforward decision, to be perfectly honest. And yeah, I'm not going to tell you who it is, but who I think it is, but I think it should be quite straightforward. Right, let's go into Jean Klein. I think defensively he was pretty good. I don't think he carried as well as potentially he could have. And added that, yeah, I think 6.6 maybe wasn't one of the best players out there. And I think it's frustrating, especially when you watch what happened with Eben Etzebeth. He had this opportunity to go and start and make a big impact. But a couple of silly mistakes and maybe didn't make the impact that we wanted. Ruan O'Keefe, however, was absolutely everywhere. 1 missed tackle, but his first ever international try. 10 carries, 36 meters run, 8 passes, 5 points. I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. Very good outing. You guys are giving him an 8. I mean, are we all just dropping this down slightly because we did this against Wales, or what's the chat? Is that kind of where we're at? We're just not really giving higher rankings because of the opposition. Yeah, so I'm going to give him a 9. I think it was very good. Sia Khaleesi, very solid, carried well, tackled well, didn't make many mistakes. I'm going to give him an 8. 7.7, there we go. Let's go to Jasper Visa. I'm sorry, Jasper. My apologies, Sos. Franco Mostert, very good on the lineouts. Very, very good lineouts. And as usual, had a good work rate. Made his tackles. 7.2. I think it's a bit low considering what some guys got. I mean, yeah, I thought it was better than Jan Krobler. But anyway, Jasper Visa was pretty chaotic, and he scored a try, so I'm going to give him an 8. Yeah, you guys are agreeing. As I said, it's going to be a bit of a quick player rating shows. It's a pretty straightforward player rating shows as far as they do go. If we go into Morne van den Berg, 5 points. He scored a try, 30 meters run. I thought it was actually probably one of his best games today, to be honest. I thought he managed the game pretty well. Always has a knack of finding tries. So give him an 8, 7.7. You guys are pretty close there. Sasha, right? Sasha, look, I mean, he's just such a maverick at sometimes. His stats always read phenomenally well. He makes mistakes, but he makes mistakes because he tries things. So a couple of poor passes, a couple of knock-ons here and there. But at the end of the day, it was a great game from him. I mean, 2 tries, 28 points, 56 meters run, 17 passes, etc., etc. I'm going to give him an 8, 8.3. First time I've gone a bit lower. I just want to hold him to a high standard, you know. That's why he's 23 years old as well. Also, I'm a massive Sasha fan. Everybody knows I love Sasha. He just finds a way, doesn't he, of always affecting the game. Salman Murat has got a very, very good haircut. There's not a hair on that head of his. Then we're going to go to Kanan Moody. A try, missed a couple of tackles, but generally was pretty good. 7.6 is what everybody's got to say for him. Andre Esterhazen has got, I mean, he's going to get a 9 out of me. No one's getting a 10 out of 10 when you're playing against that Welsh side, unfortunately. So I'm going to give him a 9, 9.1. He's definitely got the highest rating. We'll go back and look at the thing before we award the official man of the match. But Damien Delende, can't ask much more than him, to be honest. Playing in a position that he's not particularly familiar with. He actually helped us scrum off quite a lot, to be honest. And, yeah, just finds ways of getting involved. 4 out of 5 tackles, 36 meters run. All in all, a pretty solid outing for him. Ethan Hooker, fantastic. I thought he was brilliant today. So good under the high board. Good tries as well. I potentially could have actually put him ahead of Kanan Moody for man of the match, in fairness. He's going to get an 8.2 average rating at this stage. Damien Willemse, he's just always so good, isn't he? Try assist. Didn't get a try himself, but another superb game from him. Just doesn't make any mistakes, really. Then off the bench, Bongi Manambi, solid enough. I'll give him a 7. Didn't have much to do, in fairness. Storm was about to kick off, by the way. Zach Porthen. I liked Zach Porthen. I thought he had a couple of nice scrums, a couple of nice tackles. He did a good job, did Zach Porthen. I'm excited about him. He's a player that excites me. He's mobile around the park. He's a good defender, good skill set. He excites me. I'm going to give him a 7. Nice, 7.3. Asanati also, look, to be fair, got through a lot of tackles. So also gets a 7, but he's very good in defense. Gets through a lot of work to Asanati in Klabakanye. Even I was going to give a 1, and he got a try, so I'm going to give him a 2, because I just think that whole eye guarding thing has just broken my heart, in all honesty. So just upsetting, to be honest. Malcolm Staden, pretty quiet but decent. Give him a 7. Quacker Smith, as per usual. Ben Jason Dixon, also quiet but got around the park. 6.9, more or less a line over there. Quacker Smith, as always, very, very good. Came on, affected the game. 7.7. Yeah, maybe I've gone up at 8. I'm going to give it an 8 just for the season that he's had. And he's my boy as well. Kubas Reinach, good game off the bench. Nice, solid. Caused the try as well. So a good, solid 7. Maybe I'll give him an 8, actually. I don't know why I'm being so harsh on the bench. I'll give him an 8. Good work from him. Very good work. And we're now going to go back to Andre Esterhazen, who has steamrolled this player ratings votes, and he's going to get the man of the match. We're going to select him as our man of the match. This is how the My Picks works. And we're now going to go and submit our My Picks. And then it generates this cool little image, which is fun. And you guys can go do the same thing. It has the score, it's got your rating, it's got the average rating, and you can go and share with all your mates. And it looks something like that. Right, so going through my ratings, the front row, 8 for the prop, 7 for Jan Grobelaar, 7 for Ruan Okia. Everybody else in the packing, except for Ruan Okia, I thought was exceptional, gets a 9, as does Andre Esterhazen. Morning van den Berg, Stefan Gomez-Zulu, I'm giving an 8 each. Giving a 9 to Andre Esterhazen, an 8 for Damien Delende, 8 across the back 3. Everyone on the bench getting a 7, except for Quacker Smith, Kubas Reinach, who I gave an 8, and even Ed Smith, who got a 2 because of that red card and eye gouging. It just wasn't a good look whatsoever. And Storm was under a little bit of pressure early on already. So that is where we're at, people, with the player ratings show. I'm going to we're into the poll there with 157 votes. Andre Esterhuizen getting 75% of those votes. People, thank you so much for joining us across the season and across the year. We have got to 100,000 subscribers. We have gotten to some of the numbers we wanted to get to this year. We will see you guys all very soon. We're not going anywhere. Still, lots of you are seeing the likes of that, but obviously no Bok game until July next year. Smash a like on the video on the way out. Subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steve.